Lesson 83. Today, let us review these ideas. 1. My only function is the one God gave me. I have no function but the one God gave me. This recognition releases me from all conflict because it means I cannot have conflicting goals. With one purpose only, I am always certain what to do, what to say, and what to think. All doubt must disappear as I acknowledge that my only function is the one God gave me. More specific applications of this idea might take these forms. My perception of this does not change my function. This does not give me a function other than the one God gave me. Let me not use this to justify a function God did not give me. 2. My happiness and my function are one. All things that come from God are one. They come from oneness and must be received as one. Fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. And I must learn to recognize what makes me happy if I would find happiness. Some useful forms for specific applications of this idea are: this cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. My only function is the one God gave me. My happiness and my function are one. We have talked about the different plans for salvation, the ego's plan for salvation and God's plan for salvation. And of course, they couldn't be more polar opposites from each other because one is real and one is true, and one is unreal, not true, and completely illusion and made up. But here in the world, the ego is doing everything that it can to make you believe in the reality of its path, of its plan. And we've talked about how it uses bodies, it uses guilt, it uses judgment, it uses your mind, it uses your intelligence, it uses your physical senses, it uses your past, it uses your childhood, it uses 5 minutes ago, it uses whatever it can to distract you from taking the path to God's perfect plan for salvation. God's plan for salvation is the atonement. It's you remembering who you really are. It's the correction of your perception. And that the Holy Spirit, the light, the understanding comes in and corrects, heals your insane thinking. That is all you need to be saved from, is your wrong thinking, the insane, ego, chaotic thoughts that are in your mind, in the world, that it reinforces. It reinforces it because it does not want you to shine that light, to shine that understanding, to realize your power, to realize who you actually are, because then you wouldn't listen to it. It would be threatened, nullified, and abolished. You would no longer listen to that voice. You would hear only the Holy Spirit. It would not have dominion or any quote-unquote power over you or power in the world, which is what it wants. So the ego definitely doesn't want you to remember your function. It definitely doesn't want you to remember your true identity. It definitely doesn't want you to remember your creative power, because you'd stop listening to it, you'd stop relying on it, you would find that holiness, wholeness, strength within you, the Holy Spirit within you, and be guided instead, and be a force of God in which the ego is abolished. So the ego does not want you to realize that it is taking you down the wrong path. The ego's dictate, therefore, is seek, but do not find. So you're searching. We all have this innate yearning for the truth of who we are. The ego would tell us, this is who you are. This version is who you are. But you're not happy because you're not forgiving. You're still seeing yourself as separate. You're lost in the randomness and the meaninglessness of the world. You're holding on to grudges. You're getting into conflict right and left. You're definitely not working miracles. And you're definitely not happy. You cannot be happy unless you are performing your function. And that is to extend love in the world. And forgiveness is the ultimate extension of love in the world. These lessons are reiterating in short form and beautiful, succinct ways who you are and why you're here. It's really going for it in this section of the workbook. It's really going for giant strides, it says, in reminding you of who you actually are. And we can't be reminded enough. These are some really great mantras, sentences, ways to apply this lesson practically to whatever comes up that would have you go down the wrong path today. For me, I have this ongoing thing. I need to be reminded to be open. I always need to be reminded to be willing to open my heart a little bit more every day. Forgiveness is an acquired lesson, the Course says. In the world, we don't want to do it. We want to hold on to the grievance. Letting go, the release is liberation. The release is happiness. The release is inner peace. The release is where the miracle worker lives, and just an ongoing, arms wide open, heart wide open, doesn't make you silly, doesn't make you unwise, it makes you very wise space with your wings fully outstretched. Where the ego would have you seek and not find safety, invulnerability, protection, love, peace, happiness, joy, the Holy Spirit would have you be lifted to that place when you ask for help. You will always find peace, happiness, joy, security, safety, protection, invulnerability within that space where the Holy Spirit lifts you above. And that's what these sentences are saying. Things may come that would keep you down here, that would try to distract you, to help you justify a function other than the one God gave you, or to justify the illusion of happiness over here in the material world instead of finding it within. But that's not the function God gave you. Remember that today.